This is Scott with Virtual Gun School, and one of the most important questions I get asked right away after someone gets their concealed carry permit is, should I buy a semi-automatic or a revolver? So I'd like to discuss that for a moment with you. So let's talk about semi-automatic versus revolvers. You guys have already seen my Glock 19. You've seen the Nighthawk Custom 9mm, which is my carry piece. And I'd like to show you a few revolvers before I jump into something else. So we'll start small and go big. Even though this is smallish, it's a .357 Magnum. It's very powerful, yet it is concealable. Obviously I have a concealed carry holster, but I mean, you can pretty much conceal that with no problem whatsoever, even for somebody slender like myself. But the advantage to a wheel gun, as they're called, or a revolver, is they almost never fail, okay? So every time I cock the hammer, I pull the trigger, it goes boom. Or I can shoot the gun in double action, where if I'm pulling the trigger, the hammer comes back and the hammer comes forward. Obviously, if I pull the hammer back every single time and shoot, I'm much more accurate. But the revolver is 100% foolproof. It's kind of like a bolt-action rifle. The chances of you having an issue with it are almost none. Okay? You can go to a .44 Magnum. For years and years and years, Clint Eastwood made videos or movies about this particular pistol. The .44 Magnum, for I don't know how long, but a long time, was the most powerful pistol on earth. And it was very common. Some guys will take it on bear hunts as backup, just in case. This particular one is called the Colt Kodiak. I believe it was a 1992 Colt's custom shop, made 2,000 of these. They're very difficult to find. I was very lucky to find one from a guy in California who did not know what he had, so I kind of lucked out with this one. Last is my Smith & Wesson 460. Once again, we call this a wheel gun because of this. It's a revolver. Every time I cock the hammer and pull the trigger, it goes boom. Cock the hammer, pull the trigger, it goes boom. Or I can just pull the trigger each time, it will go boom each time, okay? This gun, any of these three guns are never going to fail you. It would be an anomaly if it failed you. Now, we get into the semi-automatics, okay? First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that this gun is empty, okay? Which it is empty. We always check them twice, but it's a 10mm. Some of you are gonna ask, what's that sight on top? That's a reflex sight. So a 10mm, for whatever it's worth, has about 80% more power than a 45. So a 10mm with the right loads, and I shoot the real strong loads, is almost as powerful as two 45s together. So it's not uncommon for people to shoot a deer or a hog or something of that nature with a 10mm. I can assure you the effects this has on another person are beyond devastating. Once again, with the right loads, this is almost twice as powerful as a 45. However, I do tell people, when this gun is cycling, as I keep showing you, it does have a chance to jam or stovepipe around. In that case, the gun is nothing more than a giant paperweight. And by the way, I know a lot of people are anti-gun, and I'm all for that. If you're not into it, then that's perfectly fine with me. I'm not going to try and talk you into it. But these guns are unloaded, so these guns are all giant paperweights. If we sat here for somehow a billion years, none of these guns are ever going to go off. The only way they're going to go off is if somebody loads them and pulls the trigger, which is why when you purchase a firearm, there's three specific places it asks if you have any specific mental issues or if you've ever been institutionalized. This is a gun made by Les Baer. It is a 45. Les Baer is a custom gun maker and guarantees some pretty amazing groups. I have not put a lot of rounds through this gun, but if you're buying a 45 caliber, if you go with a Les Baer, you can't do much better. You notice it's really tight when I pull it back. Once again, the nice thing is, that's really tight. The nice thing is, every time I shoot this gun, it goes boom, 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 boom. Unlike a revolver, even though I can shoot it that way, you know, it's a lot more work and a lot more effort. This is much faster, you get a lot more rounds out. This is much more reliable. Although that being said, I'm going to go back to my original statement, and that is, get yourself a Glock 19, go ahead and do the trigger upgrade. If you want to upgrade the barrel, even better, and put night sights on it. You absolutely cannot beat this gun for what you're going to pay for it. You will have it for the rest of your life. So that would be a average demonstration of revolvers versus semis.
What will you get for yourself? Will it be a revolver or will it be a semi-automatic pistol?
So for myself, I prefer a semi-automatic.
And why is that? You're not scared it's going to be jammed, or like?
Well, I'm going to tell you
there's all the
exactly
pros
why.
and cons. Like
this
what?
is a very, very important question. I'm going to tell you why. This semi-automatic is made by somebody his name is Ed Brown. And if there's any firearm experts out there watching this, they know Ed Brown makes custom stuff. His stuff is almost never going to fail. It is just that the quality control is beyond belief. So the chances of this gun failing are almost none. And remember, this is 10 millimeters. So shooting somebody with this pistol is darn near close to shooting with a small rifle. And for home defense, I think it makes an excellent route, an excellent gun. It would be my choice. If you really were on a super tight budget, and I mean a really tight budget, you might want to consider getting a revolver, because it's not going to fail you and it is going to get the job done. And you know, you can buy a reasonable revolver for $300-400 and be quite happy with it, where a gun like this is well beyond that. So my choice is to buy a high quality semi-automatic. If you're on a budget, you might want to at least consider buying a revolver, something that has some decent reviews, something you're comfortable with. Just the only last thing I want to say is when you're shooting it, just make sure you're comfortable shooting it in your hand. If the gun's going off and jerking and flipping and you're afraid of it, you are never going to shoot that gun good. So pick up these guns and don't be afraid to put some range time with them. Get some training. You know, I offer training. There's lots of people that offer training. Most people, I don't mean to be disrespectful, that are offering training don't even know what they're doing. It's like going to the gym and looking at the personal trainers. So they're all 100 pounds overweight telling everybody what to do. So most firearms instructors are the same thing. They have a rough idea on what's going on, but they really don't know. So I encourage you to leave comments, notes. I'm sure I missed some stuff. I'll be happy to do more videos if you like. Please like this video, share whatever you guys decide to do if you think it's beneficial. And I certainly will get better with each one. Thank you.